Hi, I'm Toni Williams, and this is Brooklyn Savvy. Hi, I'm Toni Williams, and welcome to Brooklyn Savvy. Well, this episode, Brooklyn, has been a long time coming because one of my passions has always been intuition and spirit life and prophecy, all of those gifts of the spirit I've always been enormously interested in, and I decided that that's what I'm supposed to be, as opposed to fighting it. So I had the pleasure of meeting Jonetha Campos, who is an open channel, and I wanted to just share what I've learned on this particular level with my savvy panelistas and also with Brooklyn. So I'd like to introduce Nomiki Makrilos, Colette Ellis, and Phyllis Whitethorn. So Jonetha,
yes,
you are an open channel. What does that mean?
Well, first of all, I need to say to you, I've been an open channel all of my life, this lifetime around. And what I've simply learned to do, the easiest way to get through this is to simply open myself up to the universe with the permission of the Creator. And whatever it is that needs to flow through me, flows through me, whether it be via words or touch or, however it needs to come, I simply open myself up to it. I do create some boundaries about what I want to be connected to, but lots of times the Creator tosses that aside. And that's simply how it happens for me.
Do you see pictures, meaning or hear voices? How does it?
All of that. Sometimes it comes through sound, audio. Sometimes I actually see pictures. Sometimes there have been times when it's channeled through me. Sometimes they allow me to do what I call intuitiveness. Reaction is kind of like waves. The information comes through as waves, but then it gets translated for me into the words so I can tell you what it is that's going on. And
Talk about the waves for a minute, because I think I've felt waves where I feel the energy of someone that I may know because I might know their energy, and it is like a feeling. It's like a wave. I have no other way of explaining it.
Yeah, that's just what I consider that to be me being in touch with the energy within the realm that I'm in at that point. Because there are times when I'm in your realm, but even though she's sitting over there, I'm not in her realm. So I'll feel your energy, and it comes for me, it shows up as waves. And I don't know how to be any more specific because the experience is different for everyone.
How did you know that it was not your imagination?
Well, I've been doing this all of my life because my family has been doing this for generations. So now, let me just tell you now, I am African American, and you know that a lot of times we did things, but we didn't actually own up to those things. So people would say, oh, you don't want people to think you're a witch. But let me tell you this, And so it was taught to me in that kind of that way, yes, you are. Yes, you do. Yeah, you do hear that, or you do see that over there. But that's okay. You don't have to tell anybody else that kind of way. My mother told me all her life, as children, how do you know everything? I told you I'm a witch. And just the word was scary.
Absolutely. The connotations are like, whoa,
But it was scary to protect you also, because you had to be careful of who knew that you were capable of this, because you didn't want to be institutionalized. You didn't want to be teased. You didn't want to be thought as crazy. And so throughout the generations, it was taught to you in different ways. I think for my family, my nieces, those who come now, have an easier time of it, because we're so open. I have a sister. I have a son. I have two sons. It's part of our normal day. So if I see you talking to somebody and I don't see the earphone in your ear, or I don't, see you on a cell phone, I don't necessarily get nervous that you're talking to yourself. Do you understand what I'm saying?
So many people look at it as a gift.
Excuse me, but I just wrote here, gift. I was getting ready to say that. There we are. I'm just teasing, but I'm not teasing. I'm for real.
But as you were talking, that's what I was hearing. And I understand you saying, be careful of who knows it. But in the same respect, I think of that as a gift. And maybe it's because I have a sister who says that she was born with a veil.
A veil over her face.
And she has always embraced that. And so that, to me, it's a gift to be able to be open and to be able to receive in that way.
Well, how brilliant your parents were that they were able to teach it to her that way. I had an older brother who was born with a veil over his face, and one of the beliefs was if you stand behind someone who is born with a veil over their face and you look over their left shoulder, you'll see all they want to see.
Oh.
They see, and nobody wants. So constantly people were
I can imagine.
For me, it's not accurate because I haven't had that experience.
Right.
But I also know that there are people who say that is the case. I've not had that experience. I see and I don't have a veil, wasn't born with a veil over my face. And I see people seeing and not acknowledging it. This is important for me to say. Every person has the access to this information. Everybody's intuitive. We get information, we cloak it with words like mother's wit, gut feeling, deja vu, I had a moment. We do all of these things because the society that we live in doesn't necessarily support this. So when the children are petting the cat and rubbing the puppy under the belly, they're doing Reiki, they're doing pranic healing, they're doing what they instinctively, intuitively know how to do. Right. When children, and I can go on, so you need to stop me.
No. I'm interested because I'm right.
When you see children, let's use animals. When a puppy or a dog is in trouble, what's the first thing it does? It crouches down because it knows how to defend itself energetically. If I fold myself up, and it may not. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Or children, what do they do when they're mad and they don't want to know what you're talking about or they don't want to get in trouble? They lock themselves.
Right.
Exactly.
This is why it worries me when I see people who are speaking on a stage and attempting to get people to buy into what it is they're saying, and they're walking with their hands behind their back across the stage, back across, or they're doing this. Because yes, your message may get through, but somebody may miss out on it because you've shut yourself down to an extent. Right. So if you're not practicing yoga all the time, or you're not doing things where specifically the folding of your body is shutting down, is not only shutting down, the energies, then I ask you not to do that. When I'm sitting with somebody and we're doing the work, because this is work for me, this is not entertainment. And it's your work. I don't want to take your work home with me. So I'm facilitating with you, but take your stuff with you when you leave.
I'm responsible for my end.
Right.
I don't want to see your Aunt Sissy later on. And that puppy that loves you, I don't want it running across my bedroom. All that kind of stuff.
Right. Well, it's interesting that you mentioned that, and I guess prefacing the question with, I have had these moments where I will wake up in the middle of the night, and I actually had that moment of like a dog sitting at the end of the bed.
Really?
And so I have these, it's in that, that in between sleeping and waking, and for me, I guess the question is how can I or other people learn to not be afraid? Because I haven't necessarily invited it in. I'm just waking up, and there it is. And so usually I make the choice that if I don't want to, I'll just close my eyes or I'll pull the covers up, because it's not something that I asked for. But it's that sense of how do I stay open as opposed to reacting from fear.
For me, it's intention. What do I intend to get out of this experience? What do I intend to experience? Many, many years ago, I went to Savannah, Georgia, and got into the waters there and surrendered to the Creator and said, God, use me as you will. Use me as a tool. Let me be open to whatever work it is you would have me to do. Now, I did that not knowing that all this was going to come with it, but there has to be an intention.
Right, okay.
And you have to know that, I always say for the word fear, F-E-A-R, it's simply false evidence appearing real. We all know this. So If I really, really want to scare myself, I can say that. You know, if I get locked in the grocery store, then the guard dogs call them out and they eat me, and and just convince myself. And when the store starts closing down, I'm getting the heck out of there because I made myself believe dogs really do come out.
Right.
So you have to break your habits, you know, the things that we normally do, and you have to have faith, and you have to have trust. I trust the Creator to keep me safe. You know, I trust that whatever experience I have is one that's going to grow me. It's up to me if it's going to grow me abundantly or not. You know, there are some people who get up in the morning, a beautiful hot morning, 80 degrees, and first thing in the morning, and say, "Oh my God, it's hot. It's terrible. This is going to be terrible." And there's some people that get up and say, "Wow, it's summer day. It's like I feel like I'm in the Caribbean. This is lovely." It's a choice that you make.
Right.
I choose to experience everything that the Creator would have me experience. So I really am an open channel. When I walked into this studio, got something for almost everybody here.
Ooh.
Wow.
You know,
Oh.
it was not my intention to do that.
Right.
My intention.
Right.
That's really my ego. Because remember, I made a promise. I asked for something.
Right.
Yes.
But my experiences is like, so you learn how to work with that.
Okay.
But I let the Creator know that I'm ready. And let me tell you something. Once you say you're ready,
You know, I'm also hearing that you're in the moment and you embrace the moment and you're open to the moment,
Yes.
whatever it is. And that's kind of a little bit of the work that when I work with clients that want to learn to be more intuitive. And again, I like that you said that sometimes we give it different names, our gut reaction, because we want to stroke it and make it acceptable.
Exactly.
But when you finally get someone who feels the strength, the inner strength, to open themselves up to that, it's amazing how intuitive and how tuned into different things they never saw before that they can be. And I've seen this also in my practice. And I know for myself, I also, as Phyllis said, I consider myself very intuitive. And, you know, I take a risk in what I let in, what I don't. Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not good.
Right.
And that's, like you said, it's part of sometimes you don't ask for everything you get, but you get it.
Yes.
Right.
But being able to sit with it and being mindful in that moment and being able to process what's coming in and then deciphering, okay, now what am I doing with this? How can I channel this? Where does it belong?
Right.
And trying to figure that direction out is the next
My
step.
questions are related to boundaries and positive versus negative. You know, I wonder sometimes if the fear isn't based on wondering if it's negative or positive. Now, of course, you can rely on the Creator because we can have complete faith, but we do know that there's a lot out there. So how does one navigate it safely? I think, I wonder, how do you navigate that world safely? Because it's spirit realm we're talking about.
so those two words for me don't exist. I don't
Okay.
do positive, negative.
Okay.
I do higher vibration,
Okay,
lower vibration.
okay.
Some
All
things
right.
that may be vibrationally okay for you may not work for me. Doesn't mean that it's bad. It means that it's not for me. And so I've learned to, as best I can,
Okay.
to identify that. If I go into a room and everything's happy and everybody's having a good time, it's a party, and I go in there, it doesn't feel right for me, then Jonetha needs to turn around and leave. You may have a party, you may tell me tomorrow it was a wow, I missed it. But vibrationally, it wasn't for me. I'm not saying I'm perfect and I always do that, but I pay attention to that.